What can I say? I like bologna.
You finished it.
So sue me. Hope everybody's been having a great week. Today we'll be joining FDR's Tree Army in the Chow Hall.
That's funny. It is actually Sunday.
And they're having bologna casserole. That's right. I've almost eaten this whole bowl.
Go with the bread too.
Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell. Oh yes, little Fritos.
Yeah.
Now pull up your bootstraps and join us on another journey, and hopefully we'll share about them cooking through history.
This is probably the best history one we've done.
Well, way to go, Tree Army cooks. All right, we're joining me in the Chow Hall kitchen.
Yes, we are.
But yes, this end, some may be wondering, what is FDR's Tree Army?
Uh-huh.
It's Franklin Delaware Roosevelt.
Yes.
And the Tree Army was his CCC. I'm like, well, what's the CCC?
Yeah, it's the people that built the state parks.
Yes, it's the Civilian Conservation Corps. And they were responsible in the 30s during the Depression era. Right in that time, after the stock market fell, everything, a lot of people lost their jobs and needed something. And one of the best things I think he did, in my opinion, is the CCC, which is responsible for a lot of people, a lot of the state parks, the national parks. Yep. And he kind of followed his cousin, Teddy Roosevelt's kind of following of conservation. And it was
awesome.
And it was a great program because a lot of people, like I said, they didn't have work. And so he's like, well, how about this? Y'all come do simple jobs of developing and managing so that forest fires and developing parks and our natural resources.
And it was really nice too, because a lot of people were starving, didn't have any real way to eat or make money. And so it was just really cool.
Yeah, because you guaranteed 3 good meals. Your family could move out with you.
Yep.
We've been to CCC built parks.
Yeah,
all
like
over.
Tyler State Park is built by the CCC.
There's Caddo.
Caddo is.
Up in Broken Bow. There's Montana. I mean, all over. I mean, it's not just a statewide thing. It was everywhere.
That's right.
And so that's where we found this cool book, the Civilian Conservation Corps Cookbook.
Wow.
And it was written by an Amy BIZZARRI.
Wow, that's bizarre.
It is. But she kind of did the research because her grandfather was in the CCC, I think in Montana.
That would make sense.
And so she kind of, and they did have, doing the research, they gave out little kind of, almost look like note cards, but little notepads of recipe suggestions.
That's cool.
And of course the federal government had like Kellogg's and other people where they got their food and suggestions, and they did a lot of beans, baked beans, but they wanted, because you had to work really hard, so they wanted you to eat good. They wanted a big, nice breakfast, a really good lunch, a lot of times a hot lunch, and then a good dinner, dessert. So it was like a cool program. You get 3 squares, a place to live.
Especially when people were actually starving.
Yes. It
sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
And honestly, it really benefited all of us even till this day, because without the state parks and the national parks and everything, like as campers and outdoor enthusiasts, I mean, that's where we spend a lot of our time.
That's right. I think they actually had one of the best jobs.
Yeah, it's hell. I mean, some could say we need to bring them back in today's economy.
Well, anyways, I would say we should bring it back. I mean, it's kind of a cool program.
Yeah, and so this lady, Miss BIZZARRI, I hope I'm saying the name right. If I'm not, my apologies. But she kind of compiled a lot of the recipes from that they used out at these camps and the suggestions. And she kind of did her homework and figured out to kind of condense it down so that you and we could enjoy.
This smells good.
Yes. Some of the recipes, but also in this book, you should definitely get it. It's on Amazon, the Kindle. It's like $9, but it's really cool. Cool read and a lot of fun recipes, and we may be doing a lot more out of it.
Yeah, that's right. Because they're, pretty good camp meals.
Yes, I mean, that's where...
Kind of where they came from.
Yeah. And so this was one I found that I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it's a bologna casserole. Mm-hmm. And it's really, as you saw, it started off with some bacon and then some onions. Yep. Now, it just said an onion. We use a purple onion because we had one from our little farm CSA.
Yeah.
So,
and
I'm sure they would have used whatever onions they were getting.
Yeah, I don't think they really had, well, you need this onion.
No.
It was just onion. That's why it says an onion.
Exactly. And then they were really good because not only in her book, but researching more about the recipes and cooking at the CCC, is they encouraged you to use leftovers. Don't just throw away.
Right.
And so a lot of their staples were obviously been beans. They had baked beans. They had a lot of different variations of using baked beans. Chili beans, which is basically the pinto bean in a chili sauce.
Yeah.
And so I guess this recipe seems like a combination of
some leftover
beans,
you know,
and some bacon, because they had bacon for breakfast. And then also they didn't have hot lunches all the time on at lunchtime. Sometimes it was sandwiches, and of course that would have been bologna would have been the most popular choice. Yep. And yes, we have our bologna on a pedestal. And
it's fancy bologna.
And so we're just going to cook this about halfway through.
Which we're getting pretty close.
And because I didn't want to pay for a giant log of bologna, I just got a pound of thick cuts, but we're going to cube this up.
And the deli was closed, so we couldn't ask them to slice it up for us.
And you know, it's bologna. Otherwise it says to do it in cubes, so this is kind of, you know, flat cubes.
Yeah, it works.
Guess that wouldn't really be a cube then.
It's like a cube, but not a cube.
I'll just break this up in there.
Yeah. Here, give me some. I'll help you.
Treat the bologna with respect. You know, there's when I was living in Ohio among the Amish, we had trail bologna, which was kind of a Pennsylvania bologna. I can't remember what my mother used to call it, but she's from Pennsylvania, or her family's from Pennsylvania. But it was made in Trail, Ohio, and it was more like a summer sausage.
Wow.
That is the best bologna in the world.
Summer sausage is really good, so I imagine that bologna was pretty awesome.
You can probably find it in the store. I know it's in the stores. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Look up Trail bologna. Oh, yeah. All right, so we got our bologna in. It just says we're going to kind of cook this down just for a minute, and then we're going to add our leftovers. I mean, if you like bologna, you'll like this. If you don't like bologna,
you might not.
Yeah. But I think bologna gets an unfair name.
I think so too.
And those were our baked beans on the side note. And our chili beans.
Pinch poke.
And of course, pimentos were all the rage.
Yes, they were.
So we got a jar of our pimentos.
That's probably pretty close to the pimento cheese.
It was probably around that time, like in the Spanish pimentos, when convenience foods and canned.
Uh-huh.
All right, we're just gonna mix this all up. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Bologna out of the pan.
Come on, bologna.
That's gonna be fun.
This is...
Well, got that mixed up. And now the next thing, we're gonna grab our casserole dish.
Got it right here.
I almost thought I forgot it.
Although you probably could just use your cast iron, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could, definitely. The last step is just to put cheese on top. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, we are eating what they would eat that built the state parks and the national parks that we frequent all the time.
That's right.
I just think it's kind of cool and fun.
And this does look like a very high calorie meal.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
High protein, high calorie. Yeah, that's probably heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And having the chef carpal tunnel does not help.
You got bologna on my shoe.
Will you grab me a towel?
Yeah, definitely. You mean you can't manhandle that bad boy?
Nope. I don't want to. One bad thing about cast iron, it's heavy.
There we go.
You're like, go to the gym. Why? I have cast iron.
That's right. You got the outdoor gym.
And there we go. This is like...
Man, this looks like you gave an 8-year-old free range in the pantry.
Yeah, well, you gotta feed, you gotta be resourceful. Back then, they didn't waste. I mean, I think
That's right. We got
need
cheese.
to kind of get back to that.
Okay. Now time to get some cheese on this bad boy.
On top.
And I'm not going to be afraid of this cheese.
No, use it all. It said like 2 cups. That's about it. You could even use more if you want.
Yeah.
And it just had a good cheese. Oh,
boom.
Then we're going to throw this in our oven for about 20 minutes until it's kind of bubbly and the cheese is melted. And then we're going to enjoy some Bologna Casserole.
A good taste of history. You know, like I said, it kind of looked like an 8-year-old made it. Apparently it's also heavy. Here we go. It's on its way now.
There we are.
Hey, that looks pretty cool.
There we are.
Look at that.
A traditional Bologna Casserole.
Yeah, I've got to say, I wouldn't want to be in the tent after a whole crew ate one of these.
Well, probably since they didn't shower maybe once a week, the farts they probably never even noticed.
That's probably true. They really didn't shower once a week?
No, it's the dirty. They were probably lucky to get a bath.
Wow.
Welcome to the modern era.
That's crazy.
Well,
anyways.
Have you ever heard back in the day you bathe on Saturdays?
No.
Wow.
Actually, I really haven't.
Talk about privilege.
Well, here we are, going back in time.
Yes.
Luckily, we get to take a shower.
Now, only on Saturdays.
Oh.
We're really going to immerse ourselves into the CCC.
Well, let's hope this is good enough to make up for it.
All right, the bologna.
This is going to be really hot, actually.
Yes.
We did not think this through.
Well, I'm sure they really were happy to have a hot meal.
I'm sure they were.
They're in Montana in the winter. This is probably perfect.
Yeah, it probably was. It was probably warming them back up.
All right, this is the Bologna Casserole, 1930s.
Yeah.
It ain't not bad at all.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Got that little bacony,
yeah.
smoky.
What wouldn't you like? Bacon, beans?
Beans, bologna. If you really hated bologna, just leave out the bologna and have a cool baked bean, chili bean recipe.
Yeah, exactly. And the cheese is a nice touch too.
Mm-hmm. Some bread, or really good is some good cornbread to dip down in those juices.
Ow, okay. That was a hot bite.
I like this recipe. You know, this would be, even today,
yeah,
this would be a fun one at your campground in a Dutch oven over a campfire.
I know, it would be.
You would be like...
And it's so easy. I mean, yeah. It's really great for camping, actually.
Yeah, this is an easy one. Some canned goods. I mean, you don't have to have leftover fresh baked beans. Throw in a can of beans, a couple of baked beans, the chili beans, onion, bacon, bologna, pimentos.
That's right. And really, if you're at the campsite, whenever you're cooking the bacon, cook it all the way, and then add the bologna, cook it a little bit more, and just pour the beans in there, take it off the heat, and you basically are already done. You don't really have to bake it at that point, because the only thing you're really cooking is the bacon and the bologna, right?
Well, not baking it. I already kind of cooked it. Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like if you made this at the campsite, it would you really just put it in there to get the cheese melty, right?
I guess.
I mean, because the beans are already cooked, they're leftovers.
Well,
so.
yeah, I would just throw everything together. I mean, throw your bacon, just how we did it.
Yeah.
And then once it's done, leave it over the pot, put your cheese on, let it melt.
Yeah. I mean,
this guy makes it way more hard.
Either way, it's easy to make, and you can do it at the campsite.
This guy over here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The guy showers daily. All right, well, that was a fun little trip back in time.
It was.
It was really cool to actually be eating what the people that built the state parks and the national parks that we love and enjoy so much.
It really is. It's awesome.
All right, well, until next week, or you can join us on another journey cooking through history.
Yeah.